Hey guys, it's time for the question of the week. Today's question comes from all over the place, every direction possible. um, it's it's in response to, or reaction to, I probably should say, reaction to the Twin Flame Truth video I did, I guess, last week. And that was the Twin Flame Truth video where I describe what it actually feels like and is like to be in a physical relationship with your twin flame once you're balanced. And I mentioned in that video that monogamy isn't a thing for first of all, humans are not a monogamous species, and that you don't have a rule of monogamy when you're balanced and you're with the twin flame, or exclusivity, I guess, is another word to use. And that obviously struck a chord and really revved up a lot of your push fear-based addictive energy, because I just got bombarded with, please explain that, all these freakouts of everyone. And that right there is main reason why you're not in an exclusive relationship with your twin flame right now. Okay, so I'm going to explain this. All right, so first of all, let's explore what monogamy is. Monogamy is a made-up concept by human minds back centuries ago, probably, or even, who knows, millennia, who knows, that probably made up by some church or religion, most likely to oppress people, mostly women. So it's a made up thing, made up from people's minds. That means it came from mind, which is what? Controlled by what? Everyone's fear-based energy. So it comes from a place of fear, lack, scarcity. And you can just tell by what it is. I mean, the whole thing of monogamy is that, oh, I don't want my partner with someone else because that means there's not enough love from him to go around. Or, he's gonna be sharing his love with someone else and not giving as much to me, or whatever, right? So, I mean, there's always scarcity and lack in the whole concept of monogamy. And it's very restrictive. It's not allowing people to be free and to choose themselves and to, anything that puts a restriction on something is not love. It's the opposite of love. Love is expansive and free and limitless and boundless, right? Now, biologically speaking, humans as a species are not monogamous species. If we were, we'd find one person and mate with them for life. That's not how we work, right? I mean, even if we consciously try to, most people don't get that way. So, I think there's like 2 species on Earth that are actually monogamous, like a penguin and a seahorse or something like that. I don't even know if that's right, but, it's not humans. So even biologically speaking, it's not natural for humans to be monogamous, to mate with one person for life. And that's basically what monogamy is. Okay, so having said that, talking about the biological, physiological, physical level of human beings, that's obviously on the physical level, right? It's the most physical level we can get. So, that's not really what we're dealing with here. On the level of the soul, which is what we're dealing with, your soul is one. It's one with the soul of your twin flame, because it's the same soul, right? It's one. So on the level of soul is naturally where monogamy is, right? I mean, without any rules, without any concept of it, it just is. So what I mean when I say you and your twin flame are both balanced, which I describe as being in a state of meh, meaning, whatever, so what, that's your energy. Your energy isn't pushing or pulling. It isn't like, oh, give me some more or go away. It's none of that. You two are both in meh. You're both flowing along, going with the flow, right? Everything's good. Where you don't react to what each other are doing, good or bad. Okay, so you're in this state, this cloud of meh that you only share with some twin flame. No one else can you get there yet with, because we're just not there yet as, on that level of human consciousness yet. So, but with your twin flame, you can, just through exactly this journey that you're going through. So say you're there and you're both in this meh. And so how this came up in the video, I was saying you don't need rules. There's no rules for your relationship. Rules are what? Restrictions. Meh is a state of love, and love by definition has to be unconditional. If there's any condition, it's not love. And the twin flame is the only person you can have unconditional love with right now, due to the level of human consciousness. I mean, everyone says parents and children have unconditional love. That's not true. Parents are always putting conditions on their kids. I mean, out of maybe what they think is love and safety and whatever, and that's fine. I'm not judging that. That's the way it is, and it's perfect. And I mean, kids need that. I guess in a civilized society, we need rules. But honestly, that's conditions, and that's not unconditional love. When you have conditions, there's no unconditional love by definition, right? So, when you're with your twin flame in meh, there's no conditions. That means you don't have rules or restrictions. So you're not going to be like, oh, we're exclusive, or you can't see anyone else, or you don't do that. That doesn't even come to mind, because A, you're not in your mind and you're not in a place of fear and lack and scarcity. And so when you're in that space with your twin flame, none of those rules, saying that crap isn't even necessary. It's a given. It's just, it is. And as soon as you go there and you bring it into like the physical level, into the mind level, and you start identifying it and defining it and labeling it and making it a rule or an agreement or anything like that, guess what? All of a sudden you've made it a condition, and then you're out of meh. And then guess what's happening? Exactly what you don't want to happen. Your twin flame's off of someone else. So yeah, you will be, when you're in meh is monogamous. It's one with each other, because by virtue of being the same soul, you are one. And when you're in that space, your twin flame can't go anywhere. There's no even thought to do that, because remember, they're the pull addictive energy. And when there's no pull there, because there's no push, because you balance out your push, you're also balancing out your pull, then your addiction, your addiction, your addictive energy with the addiction to the physical form of the twin flame is no longer there, because that's your push energy that you've balanced out. Well, the pull's addictive energy to other people and things and stuff is to satisfy that addiction is also not there. So they have no need to go anywhere else. But as soon as you bring it down to a level in your head of fear, of scarcity, of lack, of needing to establish rules and put words to it and, limitation to it, then guess what? It's going to be true. Because remember, your twin flame is your reverse mirror. And any fear you have, which would be putting a restriction on your relationship like that, will be reflected back to you. And so your twin flame will go do exactly that. So that's what I mean. Yes, you can and will, if you're both in a state of meh, be monogamous, because that's just by virtue of the balanced energy and the soul coming together as one soul. One is monogamy, right? So, but if as soon as you bring it into your head, as soon as you bring it to words and restrictions, guess what? That takes you out of meh, that takes you out of the one, the push-pull comes into effect, and off you go. And then there goes your monogamy. So I hope that helped clarify. No need to freak out about such things. Just be present, be balancing your energy, and keep the questions coming. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Have a great weekend and lots of love.